Hello Infiniteers, we are back in my Zootopia toy box today, and I'm going to show you how to hook up the logic for the case of the Mad Bomber. Now if you remember this case from the playthrough in episode 1, the flow of it goes like this. There are 3 phases. Phase 1 begins with an explosion at this building, and the player has to take the victims over to the hospital. And then we have a brief cutscene where the Mad Bomber makes his appearance and sets off another bomb over there. And that kicks off Phase 2, where we have to take some victims over here, over to the hospital. And then we have another cutscene that shows the villain on top of police headquarters. And that starts Phase 3, where the player battles the Mad Bomber's flying robots and arrests him. And from that description, it probably sounds like the logic could be pretty complicated. But it really isn't. There is a little bit more to it than the previous cases, but it's not too bad. So let's start by looking at all the Creativitoys that we're going to need. And once again, I placed these before I started in order to save time. And as before, I do have logic diagrams for this episode on my blog. The link is in the video description, and you may find it helpful to reference these diagrams as we go along. Alright, so what I have done, I have placed some locators here. You can see which way the little blue dot's facing, although it doesn't really matter. Over here, and over here. Okay, and I placed a locator here in front of this door at this point, and over here. And as long as you get them in the general vicinity, you're good. We have a locator over here in front of the door to police headquarters. And then I have some locators up on top of the building here. And you can see how all of those are oriented. Alright, and then we have a button and a logic gate. We have a repeater and another sound effect generator. We have a friendly wave generator, and I've connected that up to that locator and that one and the one around the corner over here, just to save a little time. We have a radar marker, an effects generator, and a second effects generator, a time delayer, another friendly wave generator, and another time delayer. Over here we have a radar marker and another friendly wave generator, 2 more effect generators, and another time delayer. We also have a target camera, which is looking right at that door, and it's 1 nudge up off the ground. And you can kind of see the road seam there, how this is centered. Okay. There's another camera up here, and another locator. This locator's in the middle of the building. And our target camera is at that level, a little bit above the building. And you can kind of see about where it's at, ground-wise. If you look at the gap between those 2 buildings over there, that's probably a good guesstimate as to where to place that. The exact placement of it doesn't really matter. Just want to get it in the ballpark. And then we have a third target camera over here. And you can see the level that this one is at, about where it is along the street there. And it's lined up with the middle of the building here with this locator. And then down below we have Stitch's door from Stitch's Tropical Rescue. It's the Stitch Town Person door. That's the entrance to police headquarters. And we have a radar marker. And then around behind the building, I've got another radar marker another friendly wave generator, an enemy wave generator, and a time delayer. And you're probably thinking this is a lot of Creativitoys. But don't worry, it's divided up nice and easy. These toys here in front of this building are for the explosion that's here and the rescuing of the townspeople. These two are for the cutscene. These 5 Creativitoys over here are for rescuing the townspeople here. And this is the cutscene that shows the explosion there. This one shows the 3rd cutscene, and the toys back here for the final battle. And for each step of this thing, there's not too many toys. It's just there's a number of steps and there's a number of toys. So don't let it intimidate you. We're going to go through this step by step, and I'll walk you through it. And again, you have the diagrams on my blog to help. Now, all I have done with these toys is I've connected some of these up to locators, like you've seen with this one, and you see with this one. Everything else I've just placed out of the Creativitoys and Gameplay Toys drawer. So that's all. And then the other thing I did to save a little time was configured the wave. So this one over here is 1 Cosmo and 1 Rocket Raccoon, because again it takes a while to scroll through that list, and I didn't want to waste your time doing that. This one over here, the wave on this one has 1 Gus, Jacques, and Mr. Toad. This one is configured to use Darkwing Duck. He's our villain. He makes a pretty good villain with that wide hat. And then the other one over here is configured the same way. This is also Darkwing Duck. And the enemy wave generator has 4 aim drones. Okay? And that is everything that I've done. Took me about 20 minutes or so ahead of the video to place all these toys and set up the friendly wave generators. Okay, so once again, we are going to kick off the logic with a button and a logic gate. So when pressed, we'll input into the gate, and once again, this is going to drive the mission, because later on we'll delete the button and hook the real thing up. On the logic gate, a new logic connection on output. Now this has to do several things to kick off the mission. First thing we're going to do is come over to this effect generator, and we're going to play once out of the explosions category, the huge explosion. And I suppose before we get too far with the logic, I should probably hook all these things up. So this connects up to this locator over here, and so does the other effect generator. This will be for the smoke. Okay. The time delayer here, we're going to leave this set at the default of 1 second. And we're going to use this to kick off part of this after the explosion is done. I've already connected this up to the 3 locators. For the properties on this, we're going to take the generation delay to 0, and for the generated friend options, the behavior is going to set to sleep. So they're laying on the ground. They'll look like they're injured. We want a radar marker on these townspeople, so we're going to do a new actor connection. Connect that up to our friendly wave generator as an actor. And on the properties for the radar marker, beacon type will be a yellow arrow. Beacon location needs to be the connected actor. This friendly wave generator for Darkwing Duck, we're going to connect that up to the locator on top of the Oscorp building. If I can find it, there we go. And on the properties for this friendly wave generator, and I really hate that. I should have probably set that before I started going through all these properties. For the behavior on this, we're going to set it to angry. Okay. This time delayer we're going to set to 5 seconds. And don't worry, I'll explain what all these toys are as we hook them up and what they're for. On the target camera, we're going to do a new locator connection. We're going to connect that up to this same locator. That's our camera target. And on the camera properties, we're going to use a defined duration, and we're going to set that to 5 seconds. That matches the time delayer down below. And the player viewport will be all players, because we want all the players to see that. I'm going to turn glow through off. Camera target needs to be the connected locator. All the rest of those are fine. Once again, we're going to use a repeater and a sound effect generator for a local alarm. So once again, we'll set the rate on the repeater to 3 seconds. Make sure you turn off. Actually, we're going to leave all those on, sorry. And we're going to connect this up to the same locator as the effect generators over here. And by the way, I forgot to do that last time. This sound effect generator over here, we need to do a new locator connection and connect that up to the locator that's out here in front of the door. Okay. Over here, I have already connected up our friendly wave generator to those two locators. So all we have to do on that is set the properties. Again, take the generation delay to 0. And again, since these are all injured, we're going to set the behavior to sleep. So they're laying on the ground. And we need radar markers on them. So we're going to do a new actor connection on that. Connect that to our friendly wave generator. We'll set the properties on here the same way we set the last radar marker. So the beacon type will be a yellow arrow. Beacon location needs to be the connected actor. Both of these effects generators here are going to connect to the locator in front of this door. This will be for the explosion and the smoke at that location. And this is for the cutscene to show the player that. So we're going to do a new locator connection on that target camera. Connect that up to this same locator. And we'll configure this camera the same way we configured the other one. So define duration, 5 seconds. All players' viewports. Turn off glow through. Camera target is the connected locator. The rest of those are fine. And since we already have a localized alarm going, I'm not going to turn on another one over here, because you'll have the two alarms going off on top of each other. One alarm is annoying enough. We need a radar marker on the door over here. This is going to show the player where to bring the villain when they arrest him. So on the properties for this, beacon type needs to be the yellow arrow. And you could even use a yellow ring if you wanted to. Beacon location this time needs to be the locator. All right. Darkwing Duck's friendly wave generator over here needs to connect up to this locator up here. And again, the properties on this. Take generation delay to 0. Generated friend options. We'll set the behavior to angry. He's got a beef against the city, I guess. And we need a radar marker on him. So we'll do a new actor connection. Connect that up to our friendly wave generator here. And then on the properties for the radar marker, beacon type will be a yellow arrow. Location will be the connected actor. On the enemy wave generator, for the properties on that, just take the generation delay to 0. And then we need to connect this, oops, to all of the locators up on top of the building. And I meant to do that before the video and forgot, so sorry about that. You'll have to give me a moment here to connect those up. Did I already connect that one? I did. That camera spins around, so it's kind of annoying. It's like, leave the camera where I put it. Stop helping me. I used to be a UI designer, UI architect for my software career. And that was one of the things that we had as our basic rule is never have the software automatically help the player or the user. Because 9 times out of 10 it doesn't help, it hinders. So keep things simple. And I wish they had done that there. Alright, so that is all of the properties. Oh, we have one more. We have that time delayer back here. On the properties for that, hang on a second. That one's going to be 5 seconds. There we go. All right, so now we can hook everything up. And I know this takes a while. This is going to be a bit longer video today. I apologize for that, but it takes a while to hook these things up. It's not difficult, just takes a while. All right, so we have already kicked off the explosion over there, the visual effect. So on the logic gate, a new logic connection. On output, the next thing we will do is come over to our time delayer and start that delay. We'll get to that in a moment. A new logic connection on the logic gate. On output, we'll come over to our sound effect generator over here. This is the global one that they're going to hear no matter where they are in the toy box. And under here we're going to play out of the action category, the large explosion. And that one's important because the player is probably not going to be here when we kick this off. Eventually they're going to be over here at police headquarters at that board. So it's important that they can hear the explosion from there. All right, and the last thing we will do is a new logic connection on output. We will generate the townspeople, generate the wave. All right, that takes us a little bit of time to generate them. Now, on the time delayer here, 1 second later, this is going to kick off the rest of the mission. So on here, we're going to do a new logic connection. When the delay is completed, we'll come over to our second effects generator, and we're going to play looped out of the smoke category, the smoke plume. So we want smoke to come pouring out of that building. On the time delayer, a new logic connection. When the delay is completed, we'll turn on the radar marker for the townspeople. And we could probably even have this do that, but I kind of like to have the explosion happen first. The time delayer, new logic connection. When the delay is completed, we'll turn on the radar marker at the hospital so the player knows where to take the townspeople. On the time delayer, a new logic connection. When the delay is completed, we will kick off the repeater. So we'll turn that on. And the repeater, a new logic connection on repeat every 3 seconds. Again, we'll come over to our local sound effect generator here, and under the general category, we'll play the loud alarm. And we have to scroll down a little ways to find that. Okay, and that kicks off and starts the mission. That's phase 1. Now, one more thing we're going to do on this time delayer is a new logic connection on delay completed. We're going to kick off the friendly wave generator for Darkwing Duck, because again, that takes a little bit of time, and I don't want to wait until I need him. I want him up there when I need him. So that will start him generating up on top of the building. Alright, so the player then will come over and rescue the townspeople and pick them up and carry them over here. And after all of them have been dropped in, then the wave from this friendly wave generator will be defeated. And so at that point we can go ahead and kick off the next phase of this. So a new logic connection on here. When the wave is defeated, well, let's see, what do we want to do first? Let's turn off the radar marker, because we won't need that. A new logic connection when the wave is defeated. We are going to activate our target camera up here. And that'll come on for 5 seconds. On our friendly wave generator, a new logic connection. When the wave is defeated, we're going to get a head start and generate these guys over here. So the victims that are going to be over it here. And hopefully, by the time that camera is done, and we go to activate this camera, the townspeople will be there. On this friendly wave generator, when the wave is defeated, we're going to come over to our text displayer, because we want Darkwing Duck to say something. He's our Mad Bomber. And under the Start category, he's going to say, let's get started. That explosion was just the first step in his little plan. And on the friendly wave generator, new logic connection, when the wave is defeated, we will start the time delayer. And the reason for the time delayer is we got to wait 5 seconds until this camera turns itself off before we can show the next cutscene. So that's what this will do. So a new logic connection, when that delay is completed, we'll come over to our second target camera over here and turn that on. And that will be looking then at that building. And now we can kick off that explosion so the player can see what the bad guy is doing here. So when this delay is completed, not only will we turn on that camera, we're going to show the explosion. So we're going to play once out of the explosions category, the huge explosion. And again, we need a sound effect to go with that. So on the time delayer, a new logic connection on delay completed. Come up here to our sound effect generator. And again, under the action category, we'll play the large explosion. Let's see. And then one more thing. When the delay is completed, we'll kick off the time delayer over here. And this should be set to 1 second. So on this, a new logic connection, when the delay is completed, we'll come over to this effect generator, this is number 4 on the logic diagrams. We're going to play looped out of the smoke category, the smoke plume. So we'll have the explosion here and then another smoke plume pouring out of that building. And on the time delayer here, a new logic connection when the delay is completed. We'll come over and turn on the radar marker for the victims over here. And one more thing. New logic connection when the delay is completed. We can take Darkwing Duck out because we're done with him. So we'll defeat that wave. Okay. So that's phase 2 started off. So the player will get these 2 townspeople and bring them to the hospital. And then once that has been done, the wave will be defeated here. And that will kick off the next cutscene, which will start number 3, phase 3. So you can see each of these phases goes pretty quick. So on this friendly wave generator, a new logic connection. When the wave is defeated, we'll turn off the radar markers over here because we're done with the hospital. So we'll turn that one off. A new logic connection when the wave is defeated. We'll turn off that radar marker. A new logic connection on the friendly wave generator. When the wave is defeated, we will come activate our 3rd target camera. And it does not look like I connected that up to that locator. That's got to connect up here. Did I set the properties on that? No, I did not. This needs to be set up the same as the others. Player viewport will be all players. Glow through off, camera target is the locator. Okay, so we turn that camera on. On that friendly wave generator, a new logic connection. When the wave is defeated, we're going to have Darkwing Duck say something else. So at our text displayer, we're going to go to the encourage category. And he's going to say, "Look at you go." He's not really encouraging you, though. He's kind of saying that sarcastically. And a new logic connection. When that wave is defeated, we will kick off the time delayer over here. All right, now one thing I think I missed is when we generate Darkwing Duck over here. Let me go back and look at my diagram here. Oh, yeah. So what we're going to do is on this friendly wave generator, when they rescue the first townsperson and he is defeated, we'll do a new logic connection. When friend is defeated, okay, so the first townsperson over here is rescued, then we'll come over here and generate Darkwing Duck so that he's ready to go. And then when the whole wave is defeated, then we activate the target camera. Darkwing Duck should be there, and then he's talking to the player and all of that. Okay. Now, once the time delayer here finishes, that's set to 5 seconds, so this will go off at the same time the camera turns off, camera number 3. We'll do a new logic connection. When the delay is completed, we'll generate the enemies up here. And when the delay is completed, we'll turn on the radar marker for Darkwing Duck. I kind of want to wait to do that because I don't want to see the radar marker in the cutscene. And then a new logic connection. When the delay is completed, we'll turn on the radar marker out here. Okay. And I think I forgot to set the properties on the door. So that's going to stay on. That's going to be off, 0. We're going to turn this up to 10. That stays 0. All right, so the player will come over here, come up on top of the building, battle the enemies, and then pick up the bad guy, Darkwing Duck, our Mad Bomber, hop down here and throw him through the door. When they do, the wave will be defeated here, and we can kick off the end of the mission. So on this friendly wave generator, a new logic connection. When the wave is defeated, we will turn off his radar marker. And when that wave is defeated, we'll turn off the radar marker out here at the door. And when the wave is defeated, we will turn off the effect generators because the mission is over. So effect generator number 4. We'll stop looping the effects, and that will stop the smoke. We need to do the same thing with effect generator number 2 at the original building. So when the wave is defeated, come over here and stop looping the effects on that. And we also need to turn off that annoying alarm. So when the wave is defeated, Darkwing Duck is tossed into police headquarters. We will turn off the repeater. And then on the friendly wave generator, when the wave is defeated, we'll come over to our action enforcer. We'll have all the players celebrate. And we'll also play my end of mission sound. So when the wave is defeated, come over to our global sound effect generator and go to musical fanfare. All right. And I think that is everything. Just double check my notes. Yeah, looks like it. All right, one last thing. Sometimes when you're up here and you're battling the robots, excuse me, there's a bug where they will actually go down inside the building and get stuck here between these two levels in this space. To prevent that, you can go to the platforming toys, and we're going to use a scalable barrier block. All right? And we are going to drop this right here like you see. And actually, let's 1, 2, there we go. So I went to the edge of the building over here and went 2 nudges this direction. And now I'm going to pick up that little locator and stretch this thing like you see. And make sure you do not go too high. We're going to only need to come down to that height. And don't leave any little bit of that exposed out here, because we can have enemies get stuck in there. So we'll put it right there like that. Right, so we have just a little bit of it sticking out down there. And the same on all four corners. Okay. And it doesn't come all the way up to the roof. I suppose you could, but I'm not going to. It's not necessary because the barrier block, for the most part, will prevent them from going down and getting stuck inside the building. Okay, let's go ahead and test this out. So we will come out of the editor and press the button. There's our townspeople with radar markers. We'll take them over to the hospital. And you're just rescuing them one by one. And we'll rescue Mr. Toad. Alright, that should kick off the cutscene. So there's Darkwing Duck. There goes our explosion with the smoke. And we have townspeople over there that are hurt. They have radar markers, so that's good. And that should kick off the next cutscene. So Darkwing Duck's already up there. He's mocking you. And away we go. Now the enemies are up there. The radar marker is on at the door. Whoops. Oh no! Hate when that happens. Usually when you do that, that's when the enemies typically get stuck inside the building. And it does not look like that's happening. So that's good. There is one unaccounted for, though. Oh, there he is. Oh no! So he did get down a little bit below the building. But if you bring that scalable barrier block up, it will actually be at the top of the level of the building. And when you walk off, you won't be walking on the grass. You'll be walking up at this level. So that's why I leave it down below there. But you'll notice he came back up because he didn't get stuck between the two buildings in the gap down below. So when I moved around a little bit up here, he came up through the ceiling, so he wasn't permanently stuck. And that's good.
Well, that went well, didn't it?
And there we go. Oh, and by the way, I brought the car over here from last time. Parked it in front of police headquarters, so that's good to know. But that's how I did the logic for the Mad Bomber. It's a fun little mission that would work well in any kind of a city-themed toy box. Thank you for watching. Before you go, leave a comment to let me know what you think of this logic and the mission. I'd love to hear from you. And as always, please like and subscribe for more content like this. All you need to do to subscribe is click my photo in the lower right corner of this video. That's all for me today. Have a great weekend.